Hey friends, welcome to the She Sounds Like Me podcast. We're your hosts, Rachael Leigh Hoffman.
And I'm Cyla Grace Hoffman.
We're a mom-and-daughter duo that works together, plays together, and tries to figure out this crazy world together.
Yeah, Mom. And we're super grateful you could join us today. This is the She Sounds Like Me podcast.
She sounds like me.
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 She sounds like me. She sounds like me.
Welcome to the She Sounds Like Me podcast.
Whoa. Hold up, Mom. Before we get this party started, we gotta let them know the goods first. Friends, if you like what you hear, subscribe to this podcast on your chosen platform. Give us a 5-star review or join our conversation online at She Sounds Like Me on the socials and at shesoundslikeme.co. That's .co, not .com, because somebody already snatched that one. Okay, Mom, now let's get to it.
Let's get to it. All right, Cyla, here we go. All right, Cyla, how are we feeling today?
Good. How are you?
I'm feeling awesome. You know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling super grateful because recently you asked me some questions about we had talked about what was going on in the school system, right? And there was a lot of talk about kids not being able to fully go back, especially in this new COVID world we're living in.
Situation.
Yeah, situation.
Quote, unquote.
Totally. And some of those kids are very, don't have an advantage right now, right? Because they got to be
stuck at home. They can't go places and they don't have schools to go to.
Right. And some of these kids may not even have the resources to do the schoolwork that they're being given at home, right?
Right.
There's a lot of kids out there that sometimes don't have enough to eat in a day, much less the supplies to go to school with. So we got to talking about that, and you asked me some questions about how we could do something. What could we do about it? Do you remember talking about this?
Not really.
Sure.
But sort of.
Right. Well, I was telling you to refresh your memory about some friends of ours that we're doing something called a backpack drive to give back to kids in need.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Right. And these friends, we're going to raise enough money to fill 10 backpacks. You remember now?
15.
Was it 15?
It was 15.
No, they had some awesome goals. And that's a lot of work to do for a little kid and her parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talked about this is going to benefit a local organization that would provide fully equipped backpacks full of supplies to kids in need. And when we talked about it, you told me that you wanted to make a difference and you wanted to get involved too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this now?
Yes, I remember this.
Okay.
But not enough to tell it.
Okay. Well, that's why we're a great team here.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes, me too. So we started by talking about what it would take to get there, right? And
we started with a goal for 15 backpacks to fill.
Right. And then we thought we'd put the word out using social media, right? It's the modern day going door to door and asking for contributions. It's the modern day method of fundraising, right?
Yes.
And while you do have a social media account on Instagram at Cyla Grace, obviously Mom runs that. So in an effort to kind of keep
my stuff on my Instagram page and your stuff on your Instagram page.
Oh yeah, that's probably a great another conversation too. We keep our profiles separate in some ways because you're doing your own thing as a young performer. And an actor, and sometimes that visibility is needed for networks and clients and things like that. They want to know that you have a personality and a profile online that would possibly represent their brand or their
style.
Right. So I think we could have a whole nother podcast dedicated to social media and how that pertains to kids. But yes, I run your social media page, and that way I can keep you off of the interwebs as long as humanly possible and off social media while still creating a presence. But we knew that we had to ask our friends and our family for support.
Right.
And so I think we started off with a goal of what was it?
15.
And what did you decide from there?
We started getting backpacks in, and we got to 15, and then I was like, let's go to 20.
Yeah, let's go
and
to
then
20.
Then we got like twice as much, and then it comes the day that we have to deliver all the backpacks, and we have 40.
Yeah, well, we had way more than that, which was totally awesome. But what was cool was that I think along the way, what are some of the things that we did on social media to help spread the word and get some people interested? Because we also made phone calls, right? And we also text our friends and family and made some requests there. But because of the power of social media, we were able to show your process in the backpack fundraising and acquiring all the supplies and all the work that you were doing, by packing things and sorting and getting organized. So when we started off with our goal to fill, what was the goal again?
About like 15 backpacks, I
think,
guess.
15 or 20, I think is what we started with. Your friend had 15, and I think the competitiveness in you wanted to...
I wanted to be competitive like I always am and like get a lot of backpacks, just like her.
So your first goal was what?
About around 15 or so.
Okay. And so we set out with that goal, and what we did was we set up a Sign Up Genius, which is a website platform that allows people to
sign up and tell how much stuff they're going to give.
Yeah. And so for 20, I think we set at 20 backpacks to begin with. And so we had 20 backpacks, but in that we had to do like 2 boxes of crayons each.
Calculators, masks, binders.
Yeah, masks. Can you believe that? That was a school supply that we added because we knew that was going to be the requirement and that most of these kids may not even have access to a good quality mask or a cute mask that would fit their face and make them feel comfortable anywhere they were going.
Right.
Yeah, so we had a Sign Up Genius, and that Sign Up Genius allowed us to put together a whole spread of items that would take to fill the backpacks. So people could either contribute by confirming
that they were going to bring that certain item or giving us money to buy the supplies for the backpacks.
Yeah. And when we started, I don't know if you remember this, but we only started about a week before the deadline was due, right? So the pressure was on. We had to fill 20 backpacks, and I knew in my heart if you set your goal to 20 and we couldn't make it, well, Mom and Dad would be coming out of pocket to do that ourselves, which we were totally stoked to do. We were happy to do. Mm-hmm. So collecting donations during COVID is a tough thing, too.
I know, because you have to wash everything.
Wipe everything down, but also collecting things.
I know, and not many people are going to want to come to your house and give you stuff their hands are all over. Right.
So we did a backpack, a touchless drop, and created a bin outside the front.
In our front yard, by our door, that said, "Thank you for your donations, Cyla's Backpack Drive."
Yeah, Cyla's Backpack Drive. So we had that bin out there every day. And then in addition to that, every day it seemed like we were opening the door to more and more packages and more, and the bin. You got really excited about that, I think.
I know. I really did. And so it was like every day we were getting more and more packaging, and we were adding up more and more backpacks. And it was like every day we got more work to do to pack more backpacks because we got more supplies coming in.
Yeah.
And we don't want to wait until Friday to pack all the backpacks, and then we're like, my life is ending because you have to get all the backpacks back and then bring them to the place.
Yeah, so we created a spreadsheet from the Sign Up Genius. There was a spreadsheet, and do you remember every day you would try to get excited and organize everything. But we had to count everything first.
I know, and that was like hard because you had to take everything out of one bag, organize it into piles, and then stack everything up and then look and count.
Yeah, and keep our numbers really straight, right? So it was kind of a cool math experiment, too.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of math, a lot of adding and subtracting and multiplying going on. So it was a good learning experience for that.
Yeah.
And then when we got home, the dining room turned into like school supply haven.
Yes.
It was totally spread out. Heaven or haven.
Whatever.
It was a haven. A haven of heaven. And so I think what was cool was we got to see, we would only pack a backpack.
When we had all the supplies ready.
Right.
So we didn't have to pack everything, and we didn't know how much more that backpack needed when we ran out of supplies, and then it would get confusing.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there were supplies coming in, but then there was also these amazing cash donations that were coming in.
I know, and now we have to go to the store to get all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then come back, and we made like 35 Target runs.
Thanks, Target. No shame in that plug game.
No, there's some
Amazon.
Big thanks.
Right,
yes,
right. And
big thanks.
And we were ordering stuff on Amazon, and stuff was coming in left and right. So it was really a lot to do, a lot to coordinate. And so I think
I didn't even get time to sleep.
That's not true, but we did put a lot of effort in, and it was super well received too, because with a couple of days to go, I think when we realized we still needed some more supplies and we needed some more backpacks, we used social media to put out some videos. Do you remember? We were filming videos of, well, one, it's kind of fun to do the behind the scenes of what's going on, dance into music, and we had a nice assembly line.
And we had it going in a row of what we needed from here to here, from calculators to binders.
Yeah. And I think people were really cheering you on because they were able to see the work that you were putting in behind the scenes as that week kind of progressed, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, while people may have missed the original ask on Facebook or Instagram saying that you were requesting donations and the original link, as people were seeing that you were really doing it.
Uh-huh.
They were throwing in some money.
Digging in deep.
And they were ready to dig in deep to their pockets to help you out, which is an amazing benefit of the power of using social media for your voice and for your mission and for your cause, right? And so we got to take some video. We took
dance videos of packing all the bags.
Yeah,
packing
and then
all the bags.
I think, we did a couple of posts, a couple of videos where you were really asking people from your heart to kind of donate and contribute, even when we had a couple more backpacks to go and the numbers were really off, right?
Yeah.
And then I think as we were getting closer, a few days before, I
wanted to expand it a little bit because we were basically hitting our goal.
Right. Goal achieved.
Goal achieved.
And so your goal was achieved with a few days to go, and what'd you do? You bumped it up?
To 30. About 30.
Yeah, and we kept on keeping on.
And then eventually...
And then some more stuff came in.
And then a bunch of more stuff came in, and I was like...
And more money.
And more money, a lot of it. And I was like, we're going to make it to 30. We got to bump it up a little bit.
So you bumped it again.
To 40.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'm like, goal achieved.
Yeah, you doubled down on the goal that you originally set out
for.
And that was just in a week's time. Do you know how much money you raised during that time?
No, I really don't.
You raised over $1,000 in 1 week.
What the heck?
Yeah, $1,000, and we used all of that money through Target and Amazon to buy the remaining supplies. And actually, do you remember Mom was shopping through Walmart and Staples, and we were going to all these places to get the very best deals on calculators, which are crazy expensive.
I know.
for some reason for an elementary school style calculator, which seems
like
crazy.
a tiny little plastic calculator.
Yeah, and if we didn't do our price comparison, right, and we're diligent about spending our money and creating the right value, like we were hitting all the sales, we were trying to BOGO on some crayons, we were really
trying to BOGO on some glue sticks.
Yeah, we were getting those glue sticks on a deep discount, and luckily we had hit the sale. Well, another cool trick was, now that Mom is a homeschool teacher.
Whoa, you got a discount at Target because if you're a mom or dad that's a homeschool teacher for your kids, you get a discount.
Yep, you can register for a discount with your homeschooling certificate, which you can get through your state. So that was cool because I didn't realize that so many local businesses offer that for moms and dads that are now in this homeschooling realm, either for the first time or for ongoing. And so we got to save some money, and we were really savvy with how we spent the dollars that were contributed so that we could really maximize that.
And we
even
could
if
get as much as possible.
As much as possible. And so we crushed it.
Yeah.
You crushed it.
Yeah. We crushed the goal.
So let's talk about having a whole house full of stuffed backpacks.
I know.
How did that make you feel?
That made me feel amazing.
Yeah, it should have. You did a lot of really hard work that was unselfish and that was giving back to a lot of kids that could benefit from it. And so this was through our community's charitable. This is through our community's charitable effort. Right? And there's many organizations that do that, but this one in particular didn't get a lot of traction, didn't get a whole lot of awareness in our community, and we had only found out about it because of some mutual friends. So at the end of the day, the Friday came, right? Mm-hmm. We picked up our friends' backpacks and loaded them into the car so we could just do one big trip for them and help them out.
Yes.
And do you remember pulling up in 2 cars? We needed 2 cars. We had so many backpacks. You and Dad in one car and me in the other one. And we pulled up, I think were some of the last donations that day. And they came out with their shopping carts. Do you want to explain how that went down?
Yeah, and we opened our trunks, and they were like, "We're gonna need some more shopping carts."
Well, and then they started filling up, and it was just one cart after another.
And it was just repeating and repeating.
And they
repeating.
were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so amazing! This is all from you?"
And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like,
"Well, you and one other girl your age, right?"
Well, one other girl my age. And then I was like, no, they were like, you have donated more than companies and more than anybody who's ever donated here.
Yeah.
More than the government.
Well, more than the local mayor. I mean,
right.
The whole government, they've got, other problems. But contributing in this small community charity is definitely one of them, too. But more than the mayor, more than local businesses, you are the single largest donor of anybody to that organization during this year's backpack drive. How does that make you feel? It
makes me feel super glad that we did this.
Yeah. Talk about gratitude, huh? Yeah. So it was pretty incredible feeling. I mean, talk about a proud mom and dad moment. I think we both got...
You were like, whoa!
Yeah. And they wanted to take pictures, and they've been promoting your success on social media, as have we. Of course, we're totally proud of that. But really, I think the biggest takeaway is that a little bit of effort
goes a long way.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. So I think at the end of the day, you donated a total, with your friend's help. She contributed about 20 bags, and you did like 44 or 46 bags or something like that.
45.
Yeah, that's over 60 children that benefited from your efforts.
I know.
And to go back to school with the supplies that they need, and we know how much you elementary school kids get stoked about supplies. I mean,
I know.
You really like some supplies, don't you?
Yeah, you go. It's supplies here.
School supply shopping. So you did a lot of work, right? You fundraised. You used your voice for change. using social media as
a benefit.
Yeah, because to get the word out, sometimes you need a little push. And then you got to share in the joy of your efforts with a friend and prove once again that,
that anything is possible.
Yeah, and that your voice matters.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one thing I can always teach you, I would be most proud to teach you in your life, is that your voice matters as a young girl, as a young person.
As anyone.
As anyone, yeah.
No matter how small, how tall, how big, how small.
How small? Yeah, your voice matters. And if you put your mind to something, you can really make change. Right? So what was really cool about that is
small, tall, big, small.
Yeah, the friends since then, there's been so many people that have reached out to say that you are super inspiring to them. And really, just the other day, I don't even know if you know this, a friend of mine from the way back that we keep cordial on social media and keep in touch that way, he sent me a message and he said, "My daughter had to finish a sentence in her school workbook. If I were rich," she wrote, "if I were rich, I'd buy food and water for the kids that needed it," he wrote. "And I remembered what you and Cyla Grace did and mentioned the idea to her if she really wanted to help. Now she is all in. Thank you, and please thank Cyla Grace for me for being such an inspiration." When I tell you, there is nothing better than that feeling, Cyla. It is, it warms my heart to a place that...
Don't cry. Makes me cry.
They're tears of joy and pride, and I am eternally grateful for you. But it's those little acts of kindness that are going to
change the world.
That's right. That's right. So, on an ongoing basis, we decided that part of our homeschooling journey...
Mom and daughter adventure through this crazy world...
is that we're going to do this on a quarterly basis.
And we're every week.
And every month, we're going to do a monthly mitzvah. So in the Jewish, in Yiddish, in the Jewish culture, it's called a mitzvah when you do something good for somebody else. So we're going to do a monthly mitzvah.
And
then we're going to do, sorry, go ahead.
Every month, we're going to contribute to another thing like backpack drives or giving food to kids in need. No kid go hungry.
Yeah. And so we can do small acts of change on a monthly basis, right? Or big ones. And on a quarterly basis, why don't you say, let's push our goal a little bit further on a quarterly basis. So, because it does take a lot of effort, right? But it's totally worth it. On a quarterly basis, we can do something called a MegaMitzfa. What do you think?
What's a MegaMitzfa?
What's a MegaMitzfa?
What's a MegaMitzfa? Mitzvah.
You gotta get your Yiddish going.
Mitzvah.
So a MegaMitzfa will be something large, like this backpack drive we did, where a monthly mini mitzvah might be picking up trash on the way to school. That was something you did last year.
And I got to sign the leaderboard.
Yeah, that was a huge move on your part. That was just something you thought of when we were walking to school, was, hey, can I grab a trash bag and some gloves? I want to pick up that trash on the way in. And you were rewarded for that because that shows real leadership as a good citizen. Super proud of you for that.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. And lots of other things can be done to help the world. Picking up trash, not polluting so much gasoline into the air. That's good, but you gotta be ready for what's coming next in this world. If the earth gets too hot and too much gasoline gets put into the air, the earth can poo.
Well, let's hope it doesn't poo, but that's one way to say it. So all these little things can add up. And I think the real takeaway here is that even one person can make change, right?
Even one little person can make a change.
Yeah. So I would say that anybody that's listening out there and doesn't think that they can make a difference,
They can make a difference.
Yeah.
Your voice matters. You can change the world.
Yeah.
No matter how small that is.
That's right, Cyla. That's right.
Like, what's that girl's name?
Greta.
Greta's a 12-year-old girl who's making a big change in this world.
Yeah, by using her voice for climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. We learned about her in the Rebel Girls stories in the Rebel Girl podcast, a favorite of ours. So if you're listening and you have any suggestions on how we can incorporate ways of giving back on a mini monthly mitzvah basis or a mega mitzvah basis, we want to hear from you. So drop us a line at hello@shesoundslikeme.co and let us know how we can get involved, because we want to keep this good vibes up.
Yeah.
And share your stories with us on how
you've taken action and how you've changed the world and how you can help us change the world.
Yeah, let us know your story and your name, and we'll drop you a shout out on an upcoming podcast. So thanks for listening, and do a mitzvah.
Thanks for listening, and do a mitzvah. Bye.
All right, before we head out, a quick shout out to the awesome friends that lent their voices to our vision at the top of each episode. She Sounds Like Me is produced by Creative Catalyst Media, LLC. And as always, if you like what you hear, subscribe to our tribe online at shesoundslikeme.co and find us on social at She Sounds Like Me so we can connect directly to you.
Thank you so much for your support, friends. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. And have an awesome day.
Yep, and have an awesome day.